Hello everyone, this is Gonzalo Burgos once again. I have the opportunity to record a new video. Now this video I'm gonna talk about career prediction by Vedic Astrology. In the previous week I talked about spouse prediction by Vedic Astrology. This is one of the important things we need to make sure that spouse is part of the life, is the partner. But now another important thing that I need to predict, let's say, is about career. Career is very important for everybody because everybody wants to do what we're supposed to do instead to be doing something that we are forced to do. Everybody has been born in this world to have a mission and to do something productive for ourselves and for the society. So career is very important because in this particular part of my life, I'm 30 years old. You are on the point that you need to make sure where are you going. You have been living all this time doing probably something that you don't want to do, and now you're on the point is, are you gonna do the same thing you've been doing, or you're gonna make a turn, 180 turn in your life? So I've been studying Vedic astrology probably for like 6 months, and I'm gonna try to make a prediction about my career. We highly recommend to go to any astrologer and get information about your natal chart. But obviously there is always going to be free websites that you can calculate and get your natal chart. So in my case, talking about career on Vedic astrology, we need to talk about the 10th house of your D1 Rasi chart. In my case, I'm a Pisces ascendant. My 10th house falls into the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we talk about Sagittarius, is a philosophical sign. Very high knowledge, a lot of long distance travel, and very high-minded. Is the highest of fire. So we're talking about that my career is going to have some kind of high philosophy, philanthropy, and a very high status. Also, a long distance travel is going to be involved. So now we talk about Sagittarius, the sign for the 10th house. Now we need to talk about any planet seated in the 10th house. I have Saturn seated on the 10th house of my birth chart. Saturn is a planet of restriction. Saturn is a planet of discipline. Saturn is the law. Saturn is the one who follows the rule. So, being Saturn sitting on Sagittarius, we can say about the combination of the two. It's going to be follow the law, be a high-minded of law, be a high-minded of duty. So Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius, and more specifically his retrograde, it makes a lot of reflection about what is the nature of Saturn. It makes me work hard towards my career, work hard towards my success, because it's retrograde, the impact is stronger. But as soon as I get to the point, and remember, Saturn takes 30 years to make a whole loop. So right now I'm 30 years old, I am in my Saturn return. So with that said, we can say that Saturn, after the 30 years of hard working and being rebooting from one place to another, is going to give me the reward to have my own career, the one I've been destined to be living and doing. So with that said, we got Saturn and the sign of Sagittarius. Now we have to talk about aspects that the 10th house is receiving. The 10th house, my 10th house is receiving aspects from Ketu, that's and Venus. Receiving aspects from Ketu makes my career something involved probably with dogs, maybe, and something karmic, probably something I've been doing in my previous life and now that I need to retake because something has been left. And talking about Venus, we're talking about this has to be something regarding art, something regarding music, something regarding fine arts and visual stuff, something that is pleasant to the eye or pleasant to the senses, because Venus is on the sign of Gemini, so it has to be something regarding Gemini attributes. It can be communication, it can be business, that is about Gemini. So with that said, we have all these aspects, the two aspects receiving on the 10th house. So now we have to move about the Lord of Sagittarius. The Lord of Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter is seated in the 3rd house of my natal chart. is the house of efforts, is the house of communications, is the house of short travels, is the house of siblings. And with that said, Jupiter is seated on the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a fixed sign. Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus is the natural second house. It's about safety. It's about what we value. It's about finance. So with that said, we can say that my career is going to be something probably regarding finance, finance advisor, and something very special that I forgot to mention in the beginning. I'm going to start back to Saturn. No, I'm going to continue with Jupiter. I apologize. Jupiter is in the nakshatra of Kritika. Kritika is a nakshatra, bitter nakshatra, who is called catalysator, the one who begins. So something about that, something about beginnings, something about pioneers, something about doing something new, something about that is going to be related to my fields. Probably creating something new that never has been done before. Jupiter is not receiving aspects, so he's sitting alone on the third house. So moving about that, we have to move to the indicator of the karaka of success, the significator of career, that is Saturn. I'm going to make another back to Saturn, and now I just want to put emphasis on the nakshatra where Saturn is seated. Saturn is seated in the nakshatra of Mula. Mula means roots. Mula means go deep. Mula is to find the answers to something that is unknown. So my career is going to be something related to that. Do some research. Go deep. Dig. And make sure everything is going to be new. And get some investigation. That's the nakshatra investigations of policemen. And with that said, so we can say that my career is going to be something to do some research, build something new about arts, about technology. So something about that is going to be made. And now moving to the last point I want to talk about. It's going to be about Gemini astrology. We'll talk about Amatyakarka. Amatyakarka is the planet with the second highest degree in the natal chart. So with that said, my Amatyakarka on my birth chart, it's the planet Mars. Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet of passion. Mars is the soldier. Mars is the energy who moves you, to push you, everything. So with that said, we have that Mars is placed in the first house of my natal chart. So what does that mean? That the soldier is moving to the head. So it makes a lot of sense when we say that my own efforts is going to be my own career. I'm going to make my own money, my own career, in base on my own efforts. So with that said, Mars is placed on the sign of Pisces. Pisces is the sign of illusion. Pisces is the sign of creativity. Pisces is the sign of imagination. Pisces is the 12th sign in the zodiac belt. So it's everything that is abstract, that is not concrete, something that you can't see, but you believe. So with that said, Pisces, Mars in Pisces makes a person, it makes me a very creative person, illusionary person. That I can work something like photography, something that I can work with special effects. So with that said, we can put a lot of color on my career regarding that. So with that said, Mars is in the nakshatra of Uttra Brahmapada. Yeah, Uttra Brahmapada. That's the nakshatra where my Mars is placed. Uttra Brahmapada is called the latter part of the funeral bed. What that means is Mars is called to be, in this nakshatra, the one who is going to make a difference between material things and spiritual things. So it can be very important to me on my career, and part of my career is going to be make a difference between material and spiritual things as a part of my career. In base of the ascendant I have, which is Pisces, and having Mars on the first house, it makes a lot of sense The one part of my life probably is going to be regarding spiritual progress, a spiritual path. Teach to people about spiritual progress. Teach people about spiritual transformation, enlightenment, you know. So it's going to be part of my career. We never know. A career, it can be different things. You can be one single thing of this life. We have been made multifaceted. We have been made to do a lot of things. That's why we have all the senses and we have a brain and everything. So I believe that it's going to be something related to that also. So Mars is receiving aspects from... No, my Mars is not receiving any aspects. It's sitting alone in my ascendant. The ascendant is the only one who affects my Mars. My ascendant is in Revati. Is basically doing kind of conjunction because it's basically like a 7 degrees apart. So my ascendant Revati means that Revati is the wealthiest one. Is on the season where the spring is coming up. So it does mean that my own efforts, my own career, is gonna bring me the wealth I'm looking for, and it's not only gonna be material wealth. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot of money, but at the same time, it's gonna be something related with knowledge, something about enlightenment, something about spirituality, wealth about all these aspects of my life. So with that said, I just want to close about this this statement I made today about my D1, which is the Rashi chart, which is my birth chart. Tomorrow, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna continue with the second chart, very important to analyze for career. That is the D10, that is called as the Samsha. I'm gonna use exactly the same techniques I used today with my D1. And before I head out, I just want to make something a little... Yeah, I just want to mention something. My career makes some strong connection through my spouse. Why? Saturn being in the 10th house of my career, of my status, makes an aspect to my 7th house of my spouse. And also Mars, Madhyakarka, being in the 1st house, makes an aspect to my 7th house. And Jupiter, which is Lord of the 10th house, in the 3rd house, makes an aspect to the 7th house. So we have 3 aspects straight to the 7th house. 7th house is my spouse. So what does mean? That my spouse is going to have a lot of psychic, a lot of intuition to be in my business life. She's going to have a lot of connection with my business life, with my career. So, and after Saturn doing the 30-year path around my chart, it makes that Saturn at the same time that it's going to give me my career is going to bring my spouse. And my spouse is going to be linked to my career. So it's amazing how you can do things and connect things by Vedic Astrology. So tomorrow I'm going to come back and we're going to analyze the D10 chart, the Samsha chart. We're going to notice that some of the things I'm going to discuss about the D10 is making a lot of sense with the D1. So all the charts are connected. So hopefully it's going to be helpful to all of y'all. So thank you and have a good night. Bye.